Hey guys, I'm John Setzler. Welcome back to the Kamado Joe cooking channel. Today we are going to make some pulled pastrami from a beef chuck roast, and we're going to use it to make some really great Reuben sandwiches. So let's get started. We're going to get this project started by making our curing brine, and I have heated up a gallon of water here, and this water doesn't have to be at a boil, it just needs to be nice and hot. And to that we're going to add 70 grams of kosher salt, and that's about a half a cup. Then we're going to add 32 grams of brown sugar, which is about a quarter of a cup. And then I've got 2 tablespoons of pickling spices that we're going to add to this to bring some additional flavor and aroma. And then I'm going to add 12 grams, which is 2 teaspoons approximately, of pink curing salt, and that's Prague powder number 1. And we're just going to stir this until it's dissolved, and once I have it completely dissolved, we're going to put this in the refrigerator and let it chill completely. Now that my curing brine is chilled, I've got a 3-pound chuck roast. This thing weighs exactly 3 pounds, and I'm going to take my thermopin here. We're just going to poke some holes in it, and that will help our curing brine evenly distribute through this meat. And now I'm going to place the chuck roast in my curing brine, in my briner bucket, and we want to get that roast completely submerged, and we're going to cure this for 6 days. So we're going to put that back in the refrigerator, keep it cold, and let it cure. We're going to set up our grill to run at 200 to 225 degrees for the first part of this cook. I've lit a fire in the center of the firebox, and I'm going to set up for indirect cooking by placing both halves of the heat deflector in the low position and both halves of the grill grate in the upper position. And I'm going to use my I command today to run the grill, and I'm going to set up at 200, but anywhere from 200 to 225 is fine for this first part. After 6 days in the cure, I've taken this chuck roast out, and I've just patted it dry with paper towels. There's no need to rinse or equalize this. I've made a rub here that I'll give you the recipe for here on the screen and in the video description. It's kind of heavy on the black pepper and coriander, which is my favorite pastrami and corned beef rub. So we're going to coat this chuck roast entirely, and then I'm just going to set it on the grill here, and we're going to let it go in the smoke here for 2 hours. Now that this chuck's been in the smoke for about 2 hours, I'm going to pull it off the grill and set it on a rack here and let it cool for just a couple of minutes. And then the next step in this process is we are going to very tightly wrap this chuck roast in some food grade plastic wrap, and you've got to get multiple layers on there and get it really tight where nothing can leak out. And after we have that wrapped up nice and tight, I'm going to wrap it again in aluminum foil. And then we're going to set it back on the grill. You can take this step inside if you want to. It doesn't have to stay on the Kamado, but you need to keep the temperature below 225 degrees for this step to keep the plastic from melting. So we're going to go for 6 more hours at this stage. Okay, we've actually been going about 7 more hours here. Not because it needed it, just because I got tied up. So 7 hours in, 6 hours in, either way is going to work fine. I'm going to pull this off the grill. We're going to set it aside and let it sit for just a few minutes. I'm going to use the I command. We're going to go ahead and ramp the grill temperature up to about 400 degrees. And while that grill's heating up, I want to pull this stuff apart and show you what it looks like. I just want to get this plastic pulled off of here, and then I'm going to take a couple of forks, and we're just going to flake this stuff apart, and it falls apart just like pulled pork. And this is going to be absolutely beautiful. So the next thing we want to do is just build a sandwich. I've got a couple of slices of deli rye bread here, and on half of one here I'm going to put some of this Russian dressing. We're just going to smear some of that on, and then I'm going to put some of our pulled pastrami right on top of that, and I'm going to put on some sauerkraut that I picked up at the deli, and I'm also going to put on some Swiss cheese. And now that that's together, we're just going to set that over here on the hot grill and let that melt and heat up a little bit. And now that that cheese has had a chance to start melting a little bit and the sandwich heat up, we're going to put this together, and I'm just going to slice into it and show you what this guy looks like. It's absolutely amazing. This stuff tastes phenomenal, and this is something you're going to have to try. So give it a try. Let me know what you think. Join us on Facebook, facebook.com/KamadoJoe. Follow us on Twitter @KamadoJoe. And until next time, this is John Setzler with the Kamado Joe Cooking Channel.